Hello folks, welcome to OTD, also known as On the Deck, where you can get all the sports you need in 10 minutes. My name is Adam Orduna, this is my mom Gina.
He is the journalist.
And she's the enthusiast.
I am enthusiastically back on the show.
Yes.
I've been being held hostage in my room.
So glad that you are finally back. You are still slowly recovering, but
true.
You are feeling good enough now to where you feel like you can do the show.
Tell the truth.
And we want to welcome you back.
Let me out of the room
with
to come
open
on the
arms.
show.
Well, we had to because you are a busybody. You want to be, or I don't want to say busybody, but you are someone that likes to be up and about, and you have a high motor, which is awesome for our family. But when you are recovering, you've got to take it easy. But you are now in the second week, and so you're feeling better, and you feel like
from some heart surgery.
You can start to finally do some things.
Yes.
So we're really excited to have you back on the show.
I've been allowed to leave from the upstairs to downstairs, outside to the deck.
Right.
Because trust me, laying in the bed watching sports, that's all I did, and I have lots of opinions.
Yes, and there has been a lot of sports topics that have happened within the last 2 weeks, and today we're going to really focus on the NFL and what took place just yesterday within the Oakland Raiders and the relocation of that franchise from Oakland, California to now Las Vegas, Nevada. And there is a lot of question marks with what's going to happen moving forward. Now, the Raiders won't be moving tomorrow. They still have to finish out their contracts with the stadium or the city of Oakland. And so they will be taking their final 2 seasons, or having their last final 2 seasons still be played in Oakland, and then they will be removed from there to Las Vegas. This is a crazy topic because people are up in arms because the fans feel disrespected and left out of this decision. There are a lot of people all over the country that are like, how are you doing this? But there were 31 out of 32 teams that voted for this to happen. So clearly there was a big push around the league for this to take place.
With the Miami Dolphins being Miami Dolphins being the only abstention. They are the only team that said no, I don't think this is a good idea.
Right. And it's a big topic because really besides the Dallas Cowboys, the other franchise that people recognize just logo. If you're not a football fan at all, if you see the Oakland Raider logo, you know that that's a football team. Just like the Dallas Cowboys star, you know that that's the Dallas Cowboys.
If you look at it's switching sports, but if you look at the logo for the Utah Jazz, you wouldn't know that. Like, we know what it is.
Right.
I was looking at it the other day online. I'm like, what is that?
I really would speak of that.
I think it's supposed to be like a Jazz note.
It's
with
a
note.
Well, they were the New Orleans Jazz, and then the team relocated to Utah, and it doesn't make any sense because the city has no real reference to the genre of jazz at all, so it doesn't make sense.
Exactly. So the point being, there are some logos that you recognize.
Exactly.
And if you're not from that team, you see the Raiders, the man with the thing over the patch on the eye and the skull and the thing sticking.
The swords.
Yeah, it's a very recognized logo, and now it's going to be a part of Las Vegas.
Right.
Vegas,
exactly.
Baby.
Well, speaking of Las Vegas, there are so many bad things that are associated with it. Now, they try not to make it that way, but it's a party city. It's a big-time city that has...
What's the nickname for Vegas?
Yes, Sin City is the nickname for the city. The slogan is, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, for a lot of reasons. And they want the city wants you to go there and let your hair down and do things that you wouldn't normally do. You work your 9-to-5 job. You finally saved up enough money to make this little trip with you and your friends, your girlfriends, on the cheap flight. You're staying at whatever hotel, but you're going there to gamble, to party,
and to do things you would not
you would not normally do. So now we have the NFL uprooting a historic franchise to this city that has its name coming from bad terms, basically saying, come here and make bad decisions. So now you've got all these millions of dollars being put into this city for an NFL franchise, and I just think it's made for a bad recipe. So my question is for you. Do you think this is a good idea? Yes, yay? Is this kind of nay? Or is this going to be a disaster?
Well, I say, because I live here, home of the Kansas City Chiefs, yay for this disaster.
Right.
So I'm going to give you a 2-part answer. Yay for us. Disaster for the NFL. Disaster for the Raiders. This is the worst decision I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah,
how in the world are you going to protect the integrity of the NFL image and this team?
Yeah.
You moved the team to a place called Sin City.
Right.
And by the way, I love Vegas. We had this talk off camera. I think Vegas is the place where if you want to go do debauchery, do it in Vegas.
Right.
Don't go New Orleans. Don't go there. Don't go to Miami. There are places where bad things will happen to you. Vegas is so well controlled.
Right.
Wink, nod. We know who's running the show.
Yes.
You can be up and down the strip all day, all night, drunk as you want to. Nothing bad's going to happen to you. Because the people who are running Vegas want to make sure that people feel safe there to
a lot of people in black suits that are running those highly populated areas.
Come on now, as opposed to other places. No offense, New Orleans, but y'all know you're dirty.
Still
it's nasty down there. I walked over dog poop and homeless people pee in the streets and vomit the whole time I was down there. Was just nasty.
It was,
and I think the goal is to get drunk enough that you don't care.
Right.
I can't ever get that drunk. It was so nasty down there. I just
You'll
didn't
end up
like
in the gutter because we saw a couple of people in the gutter.
Oh, it just makes I want to get the Purell right now.
Yes.
But not Vegas.
Right.
You can get all the debauchery you want on the cleanest streets you've ever been on.
Yeah.
So
well, I just agree with you. And right now the NFL is going through so many images. They're battling so many different topics and issues. Domestic abuse between women and violence. You've got the concussion issue. There's so much going on between how the stadiums are actually family friendly. Can you bring your little 8-year-old nephew or niece or cousin or son or daughter down to the front rows of the stadium? Is alcohol, Bud Light and other images all over the place.
Didn't she write a letter to Cam Newton about his dancing and what a bad influence it was on her kid?
I mean, there's a lot of the NFL is very image conscious right now, and there are a lot of things that they're trying to rebrand themselves in a lot of different ways, with the physicality and, like I said, with the alcoholic branding within the NFL, and they're trying to make themselves more appealing to younger kids with the Play 60 slogans and things like that, and all the women's
NFL
groups.
cares and all of that, the Women Now thing. Here's my issue with this, Adam. On the one hand, it's a disaster for the fans in Oakland, and my heart breaks for you. Because if someone all of a sudden took the Kansas City Chiefs and moved them to anywhere, Salt Lake City, it would break our hearts. And I honestly don't know if I would still be a Chiefs fan, because the betrayal is really hard.
It would be hard to really still root for them.
So there's that one part, but now you have the integrity of the NFL. You're trying to reach out to women and say, oh, we care about families and women and women's rights. You're moving a team to a place where prostitution is legal.
Right.
You're talking about gambling, and people want to shut down FanDuel and DraftKings.
Right.
You're moving to a place where the bookies are right there.
Yes.
And then at the end of the day, the imagery is just not good.
Yeah.
How are you going to keep people from fixing games in the NFL when you're hosting it in Las Vegas?
Right.
Adam, for years, pro teams would not locate in Vegas for that reason.
Correct.
Just even the hint of impropriety.
Yes.
Then the NHL dropped a team in there, and that.
Yep.
Well, I'm sorry, National Hockey is not the same as National Football League.
Correct.
So sorry.
Yeah.
I don't trust it. I think it's a bad move, and I think it's short-sighted.
Yes.
And by the way, do you know that every billionaire in the room who was so sad for the poor Mr. Davis,
Mark Davis,
that only made $307 million off the half ticket price, blah, blah, blah. Each one of those guys are going to get $50 million in their pocket.
Right.
Because of the fees or whatever for moving the team.
Yeah.
Nobody cared. This is all about money.
It is.
And quite frankly, that's fine. It's a business.
Right.
But when it becomes about people covering the spread and teams coming in and getting corrupted, then you're going to see that this was a very ill-advised move.
Correct. I just think it's there's too many layers to this as far as how much bad can actually still take place. There's just so many variables to it, but I think you just hit it right there on the head. This is all about money, and these billionaire owners already had their minds made up. We saw it with the Rams. The owner for the Rams, they were in St. Louis. He said, "I'm already out. I already got my stuff in LA." So it's just one of those situations. You hate it for the fans. You hate it for people that are highly invested into the team. And like you said, it's very short-sighted. And I just hope the NFL can figure out a way to try to right the ship, because I think it's a sinking ship very quickly.
Let me be clear. If you got the third team guy who is on punt return and he gets a chance to make a quick $100,000 because he dropped the ball on the 5, Watch out, NFL. This is what you've just invited into your Integris program.
Yeah,
it's a bad look. It's a bad move.
It's a tough move, yeah.
Yay, Chiefs.
Hey, Chiefs.
Disastrous.
We'll see what happens. We're going to keep our eye on the Oakland, or I should say Las Vegas Raiders, and see what happens. But we'll see. So there's going to be more developing on this story. We're going to continue to bring you more updates. And we just want to say we appreciate your time. And hey, Mom's back. And we'll see you next time, folks.